Hi, ladies. It's Jacqui coming from Cabo with Cafe, who's here with me today.
Hi.
We have been having the time of our lives. We have been eating, drinks, the ocean, the pool, and we've been brainstorming inspiration for some new adventures and products. And today, I wanted to interview Kat. I came across her teachings about 5 years ago, and I was in a relationship that didn't satisfy me. And I learned certain things, and it started to open my eyes to new ways of thinking and being more loving to myself so I could then be more loving to the person I was with. And so I wanted to just retrace that start today with my interview and kind of like retrace my steps. And also, if it helps other people to get started toward a more healthy relationship, that would be amazing for us. So, Kat, your first foray into relationship coaching was the ebook.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about what got you started in the business and the ebook, and what your first few steps were on this pathway many years ago.
Well, I didn't start with the fantasy of one day wanting to be a dating or relationship coach, right? It never really crossed my mind. I didn't even know there was something called relationship coaching or dating coaching at the time that I was seeking help online, right, to solve my relationship issues. So I was not in that cloud at all, So I wasn't aware of anything of online business, relationship coaching. I didn't use the internet for those purposes. But then, life happens, right? Like in everyone else situation, life happens when uh, life is what happens when you have another plan. You have something else planned. So I was in the mid of a very painful breakup from my ex at that time, and I was trying so hard to amend the relationship and put it back on track. So basically, like every one of you who's looking for advice by um, putting the keyword "how to get your ex back." So pretty much that's what I did at that time, right? And no, I didn't get my ex back, and thank God for that.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, I'm over it now, right? What I got instead is this empire I'm building and running right now. So because of that experience, I began to sort of immerse myself in relationship form, following certain relationship coaches at that time. At that time, there were not um, as many as there are today, right? Now everyone and their dog is a coach, right? It's a relationship coach. So at that time, there are not so many. So I was following them, just maybe they could help me. Well, I learned bits and pieces from at least a few of them, right? And I actually recounted my experience in my blog post as well. So if you care to look at my blog post, in my early days, who I learned certain uh, things from, and how I actually, in a way, perfect the concept that I learned from somebody else, and then reveal also what were the shortcomings of those earlier concept that is just not working, and so forth and so on. I reveal all of those things. So I never the sort of person who will deny that I learned this from this person or that person. So I give credits when they're due, And these days, you don't see that much at all in the coaching industry. Everyone just want to claim that they are, like the
Self-invented.
yeah, the best, the most badass in the business. That everyone claims that. Everyone claims they make seven-figure salary just a few months or 2 years in the business. When I started, I didn't make any money the first 2 years. So these days, when I read stuff like that, I know right away these people lie. Because it wasn't easy, right? It wasn't easy. It wasn't meant to be easy. Okay, so carry on. Is there any other? So that is how I started, right? Because of
You wanted
my own broken relationship. And then the first 2 years, pretty much, it's a trial and error. So I did a lot of techniques and methods that I was getting from some certain coaches. Some of them were feeling messages. So I used that a lot. Like I feel this, This and flu that. Didn't work.
Yes.
Short story, long story short, right? Because the agenda behind it was really just to, get a reaction, to get uh, a guy to respond to you in a certain way that you want to you want them to, not because you want to share your feelings, but you have an agenda behind it, which is to make him do as I want him to do.
That's manipulation. In
Right.
case you're not aware.
It's just a different way of doing it.
Yeah, but being yourself and expressing your feelings is from the point of
Mhm.
just being
Mhm.
you, without the outcome in mind of the other person.
Yeah.
It's very feminine magnetism, as opposed to the manipulation of I want to do this, so somebody else does this.
Right.
It's not really coming from your heart.
Right.
Yeah, so it sounds like you just felt passionate. You got really curious. You gathered a lot of resources
Mhm.
and started learning. And then you wrote your ebook and you made your website. Am I right? And some blogs.
Right.
Writing some articles
Right,
online
right.
is a good way to get started if you're just starting on this path.
So the first 2 years, I didn't have a website. So if right now you're kind of worried, right, about having a website.
Mm-hmm.
So you shouldn't worry, but at the same time, you don't have to wait 2 years to create your own website. At that time, I was just kind of exploring. I didn't have a coach or anything. I was just doing things my own, right? Sort of like trial and error. I did it because it was a hobby. I do it because I loved it, not because I wanted to be a coach, not because I want to make this amount of money or that amount of money. Want to be a seven multiple figures. That's the catchphrase of the coaching industry. Seven multiple figures. It's like, oh my goodness. So everyone who does that, seven multiple figures, just know in your heart they're lying. Because people who really actually do well in their business, they're well, I can only speak, I guess, for myself, right? We will speak so much less about how much money we make, but about how much more about how much contribution you can make, have made, and are going to make in people's life. That is more of my concern than about how much money I make, right? So that is psychology 101, ladies and gentlemen. So
How to spot a fake coach.
yeah, people who are extremely successful, they don't usually talk about how much money they make.
Yeah, it's about
Those who are less successful, they need to talk about it to give an impression that they are very successful. So that now you know. Carry on. What was the next
Sure.
question?
So let's see. I'm going to go back. I first read your ebook about 5 years ago, I think 2018, and these concepts were all new to me.
Uh-huh.
And now I've been seeing them, so I feel like I've got the embodiment of what this means in the philosophy. So I just wanted to go over, if you're like dictionary or 101, what are these cat thing phrases that get you thinking about the masculine feminine dynamics. The first one is, you see this all over the internet, high value, low value.
Right.
So like glass full, giving, high value, overflowing to everyone around you, versus low value, someone who's needy, taking, validation seeking. Do you want to just review for anyone that's just not quite clear what those mean?
Before I go to that, I want to ask you questions. What is so new about my ebook, like about the things that I talk about in my ebook?
When I first found it? Why
is it so new? What is so new about
I felt like our society sort of teaches women to be successful by being in a masculine vibe, and it was just natural for me when I was younger. Okay, you want a degree, or you want a job, or you want to be successful, you have to think in these ways, and you have to sort of toughen up and be masculine, goal-oriented, don't talk about your feelings. So that was just where I feel like a lot of people in our culture are at. And I had never heard anybody before you and another woman coach that I engaged with at the time, I had never heard anybody saying to be softer or more true to your feelings, or lean back, or be in silence, or be more receptive. The whole concept just like, I had never heard of it. It was the first time I'd ever heard of what I now consider feminine magnetism, which is knowing your truth, being exactly who you are, being true to yourself. You don't have to play the game like the way other people, you don't have to, there's no rules, basically. You're following your own heart. And knowing the truth of your own heart as a female being in this world. So, when I first, there's a lot of catchphrases we might hit on today. So we can call this Cat Fang 101.
Right,
If
right,
anybody
right, right.
wants to, if it's day one and you're saying, what is this business all about? So high value versus low value, I guess, would be the first catchphrase.
High value, low value. I mean, I don't claim I invented it either. So I just probably I came across that too. It's already kind of that terms circulating on the internet already. High value is basically, you show up in a way that you carry yourself in a way that people look up to you. That is what high value is. High value is as opposed to low value, right? But of course, that also can be very subjective because what high value to certain people might not be high value to others. But basically, principle of high value is when you are, when you are truthful to yourself, and you can command a room basically with your presence, right? Even when in a relationship, you can command a presence in which that your partner will show up as his or her best self to match up with your frequency. That is my own definition of high value or low value, right? So
yeah, that's I think of it as like love or fear too. If you're in love, you don't have to be so controlling of what the people around you do because you're just beaming out that vibration of love, which is valuable to the people around you. But if you're in fear, then you might be attacking people, you might be providing negative experiences for the people all around you. So for me, high value, low value has a lot about, are you on the love button? Do you have patience? Are you present to hear where people are at, even if it's not where you want them to be at? Or are you in the low value, you're in a state of fear and you want to control people and you want certain outcomes for them?
That's a good point.
Validation is taking. So high value for me is about a giving persona, and that's what Kat's saying about the coaching. Your relationship with your e-coach is a lot like your relationship. So if you have a coach and that coach is looking to take a lot of money from you really quickly and they're in a taking vibe and they're boasting about how much money they make and how great they are, I would just take a caution about that coach until you can validate all their claims. But if they're in a giving vibe, like Kat was saying, I didn't want to make money in the beginning. I just wanted to give to people like this understanding and provide something for the people all around me. For me, that's a high, because it's a high value person. A high value person is like a bank account. They have things to give to people around you. And a low value person is like an empty bank account, and they're looking to get.
You're high value when you come to a relationship from a place of wholeness.
Yeah, cup is full.
Completion within yourself, wholeness. Then you will act high value because you don't need the external validation for you to feel okay about who you are in the relationship, right? Which makes the relationship a lot easier, as opposed if you come to a relationship from a place of lack, because I want to manipulate certain things, certain outcome for my partner, so I can feel good about myself. That is low value, meaning you come to a relationship from a place of wanting to be completed, wanting to save yourself from yourself. And nobody, no one man in the world, not even Jesus Christ, can save you from yourself.
The savior complex?
The savior complex.
In a relationship.
I just love this. This is like Dream of Genie.
I put on my bling hair for our talk today.
It's beautiful. It's like Dream of Genie.
Got blinged up.
Did you watch the Dream of Genie when you were a child?
Yeah.
You were young. I mean, you were so much younger than me.
Today we'll change your relationships from low value to high value. Yeah, I think that was the hardest part for me about the low value, high value, was because for many years I didn't get that seeking validation is actually low value because you're seeking to get something from somebody, as opposed to women that don't need validation and they make their own opinion about who they are and what they have to give, and they give from a place of confidence. I got it finally about a year or two ago. I was like, okay, even needing validation from people is a taking energy. You're looking to get something from the people around you. And when I got that and I realized, I validate myself, and then that outflows to people around me that I am of value and I can provide. So that was like a really hard turn for me, was even needing validation is a taking.
Oh, yeah.
It took me a while to get that. And then that you kind of went into it already as far as the next one of my other catchphrases, which was doormat versus easy to please. That was really hard for me to get in the beginning with Cat too, because
doormat will be easy to please,
right,
right?
the
That's what you
doormat,
think.
the doormat is the one who's trying to be good enough and validate. So it's actually a taking energy, I realized.
Yeah.
Versus with Kat saying easy to please is the woman whose cup is already full. She's got
Yeah.
her life, she's got her family, or whatever pleases her, you know?
Different
Has
motives,
things that fill her cup.
different intentions.
Right.
So a doormat is because it's, you know, someone who's trying to please at whatever expense or cost, right? And
To
then
be good enough.
yeah, and they never come to that place in which what they're doing is good enough anyway. So they're going to still have that complex, right? Those issues of not being good enough. But someone who is easy to please, right? It's because it's genuine. So being a doormat is not a genuine thing that you want, you know, like to please because you love pleasing people, but you want to please because you are not pleased with yourself. So you need the validations to tell that you're a good person. But someone who is easy to please, meaning they don't have any expectation, they're okay no matter what. It's not the same as having low standards, by the way. It's not the same, right? So probably should be the next question.
Well, yeah, no.
So no, let me.
Low standards.
So my thing is being easy to be with, easy to please, but also easy to lose. You see,
Oh yeah, that's another
that
one.
easy to lose part is what's missing from the state of being a doormat.
Easy to lose is someone doesn't invest in you or think you're worthy.
Mm-hmm.
No more honey.
No more.
No
Exactly.
more overflowing
You
back.
just naturally sort of drifted away from that kind of vibration.
Yeah.
Those kind of people who just not taking advantage of you, always taking, and no giving, for example. It's a natural thing. So you don't have to strategize or anything like that. You are going to circulate in the vibrations that you are vibrating from.
Yeah,
Okay.
as opposed to easy to please, I think of that as a woman. She's already happy. Anything she gets from a guy
Yeah,
she might be dating,
just-
it's cherries on top of the ice cream.
Exactly.
But she's
It's
not
icing
sitting there
on
with the
cake.
empty bowl going, help, I need ice cream, like the low value kind of doormat validation.
That's right.
And I must confess, in my early years, I did do all
You
of
did.
these vibes that, and I can tell you that they make you unhappy. And
Right,
they make you
because
feel
you do it with
bad
expectations.
inside. Yeah.
So
You
being
don't
a
fill up.
doormat, you sort of lower yourself with the expectations that somebody is going to raise you up.
Mm-hmm.
But being easy to please, you don't care about the outcome.
Because you're already happy. You're
You're
already on a high
already
vibe.
happy. It's
Mhm.
not because you want to secure an outcome. So when someone you're being easy, when someone being an asshole to you, you're no longer going to meet that person. You're not going to be around that person. As simple as that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're a master of emotional well-being, which love and the vibration of love is the most attractive thing on the face of the planet. So anyone who's texting or saying, how do I get this guy back or that guy back, or if you're in a loving vibration and you're being true to yourself, my opinion is that is the most attractive thing in the universe. So Kat seems to have mastered a lot of that vibe, and that's why people really listen to her stuff, which is the honey versus vinegar.
Right.
You know, someone who's loving and a guy invests in being close to her, she'll throw honey out all day long because she has it and she's happy. Versus
That's
a girl
right.
whose cup is empty and she's looking for the validation when she
Exactly.
immediately doesn't get anything that helps her feel good about herself. Because like Kat said, if you don't feel good about yourself, nobody else can actually do it. There's no savior complex here. The vinegar will start to get poured with those type of people like pretty quickly, and the
That's
vinegar
right.
is repellent to love. Anybody who comes into your field and you pour vinegar at them, they're probably going to back up because it's not a pleasant experience. But if someone comes into your field and you're in a loving vibe and you can give them love, and even in patience situations where you need patience because people don't always do what you expect, and you can just still love the person for who they are without needing the outcome and just still be a loving, that's a keeper. Like that's a gem, what Kat says. She's a gem, right?
No, yes.
She
Yes.
can make even a bad day good for anybody who's around her.
Yeah, a woman like that is so rare, so rare. This is why if a man finds a woman like that, he's not going to screw it up because he knows that women like that are far and few between. Meaning that every one in a great while you come across women like that. Not very often they come by. So when a man finds a woman who's just so different to the majority of female population, it will be stupid for them to screw it up, right? So this is why my success rate is like the highest in the business, and it's not a strategy or a catchphrase. It's not a promotional thing that I say, but it's a reality. It's a reality because a lot of what I teach are being overlooked by a lot of coaches out there, right? Until recently, when the new, uh, I guess, breed of coaches starts saying the same thing I do. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. How about, here's one of my favorite, another, so we're on Cat Fang 101 if you're just joining in. We're going over her first ebook and some of the cat catchphrases that might just kind of change mentality if you're...
By the way, this is the beginning of her podcast, ladies. So follow Jacqui. Later we're gonna give the link to her page.
Yeah.
And
This
you
is my
can also
first.
find this interview on her page as well. Follow her. She's going to be a genie in a bottle with her podcast, okay?
Yeah.
I'm already enjoying it. We haven't been even halfway through. It's so great already. Okay.
I'm cheating for my first podcast because I'm interviewing Kat, so...
No, it's not cheating. Actually, it works really well.
It does work really well.
Okay, carry on.
How about this one? This is a favorite here. Lean back versus lean forward.
Right.
So-
Lean back. So if you see the position, right? To lean back is basically literally lean back.
Like
Relax.
a queen, you just see what comes
Relax. See
and
what
evaluate
comes,
what's
exactly.
coming up to see.
Lean forward, meaning you're just like trying to be sassy, trying to be assertive, to suss one out, like the Brits say, to suss somebody out. Meaning you start, advancing like an agenda, trying to make things work, trying to make things happen, which is not entirely a bad thing, right? In the context of romance, by the way, though, when you lean forward, when you do all the heavy lifting, because only one person is required, like to lead a relationship. If you decide that you want to lead a relationship, then the other person has to
Follow.
lean back, right? To follow. You cannot have two leaders in a
Yeah.
relationship. So if you want to be a leader, then the man will lean back. Or if the man is the masculine type, she wouldn't touch you with a 10-foot pole. You know what I'm saying? He won't touch you. He will just probably fade away, disappear, because you're not a match energetically. This is why the hot man that you are so attracted to, you're so addicted by or with, you know, um, seems to be so elusive to you because you come across very strongly to them without you even realizing it.
This is okay. We're actually covering another one right now, which is feminine magnetism. When I first heard that, I was like, okay, I'm supposed to be magnetic. What the dickers does that mean? But like magnetism is simply that something that's in a negative feminine will naturally attract the positive masculine in her natural state. But when she flips into the positive, active doing as opposed to just being the negative whoever she is in her own space, it immediately will repel because two positives will repel each other and a negative and a positive will attract. So if you want effortless polarity and attraction and you're a feminine type person, it does you good to stay in your natural being versus doing is another way to explain it. Like if you're in your being self and you're just in your natural feminine vibration, which is a negative polarity, which attracts things into it, then you're not leaning forward toward action and you wouldn't repel somebody of a masculine positive energy out of your field, as opposed to like doing puts you in a masculine kind of magnetism as far as how magnets work. If you're
Right.
doing, you're in the masculine, and if you have another masculine person in the field, it'll just bump and
Collide.
repel them. So
Repel each other.
it's sort of the
Exactly.
art of feminine magnetism. I never understood till I started thinking about magnets and how magnets work in nature, and the feminine and the masculine in their natural states are actually a perfect magnet. if you don't sort of manipulate or change the field from its natural state as a female, you should attract high quality people of the opposite polarity, and it should run its course well. But when women aren't being true to themselves, which I was just saying when I opened this talk, I think our culture asks women to often act like men and not be true to their own heart and not be in their beingness of high quality. So being for me is like being what Kat was saying, high vibe. Like it's the quality of your experience, and then doing is more about the outcome. Like a girl who's in the doing masculine is planning the wedding already. She's planning the future, and she wants certain outcomes. And a girl that's in her being is in the moment, having a good time in that moment, regardless of the future. So that helped me understand doing versus being, which is also leaning forward versus leaning back as a receptive. Leaning forward is going to get something, like an outcome in the future, and leaning back is sort of more receptive, like watching what comes to you.
You're an invitation.
It's an invitation, yeah.
That is an inviting energy.
Mm-hmm. So if you want someone to pursue you, you can lean back, and by natural polarity, that actually pulls someone in more than going to prove yourself or get validation or set up the future plans that the way that you want to see it happen. So that was like a big one for me. So let's see. We already went through easy to lose, honey versus vinegar. Here's a good one that I took a while to figure out. So investment. So Kat says don't overinvest. So I finally had my aha moment with don't overinvest, when it's like, if somebody's investing this much and you're investing just a little bit less or the same, you would be happy with your investment because you're getting, it's an ROI, the return on investment is equal or greater. But if you're investing up here and the other person's investing here, you will continually be unhappy with that investment because you're putting in more than you're getting back. So managing your investment, for me, I got my aha moment when I just thought of it as the visual. Like, if someone's investing this and you're investing that, you're breaking even and you're not cranky because you're not losing money. Like the stock market, if someone's investing in you up here and you're only investing here, you're getting a high return on investment. Nobody gets cranky. Nobody turns to vinegar and starts bad talking their investment in that case. But if you're investing so much and getting so little as a female, that's the minute you're going to turn to vinegar and say, this guy's not doing this, he's not doing that, and you turn to vinegar and sort of just like sours the rest, as opposed to managing the investment so that you're getting something equal or greater than what you're putting into the situation. So Kat, do you have any investment, kind of over-investment keys of wisdom?
So basically, you have to be on the same page with the man that you date every step of the way. So you cannot be ahead of a man, right? When you are ahead of a man, you tend to hurry him up, and you want to pull him to be on the same mileage as you are. And as a result, that is what chasing is. And you're going to chase a man away from you because you are much faster than him, right? This is so important. The idea of you have to pace yourself. You're not faster than any man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's generally speaking, it's extremely hard when we date a man that we truly love, truly like, and he's taking his time. This is why it's not gonna work. If you only date one man at a time, it will drive you bonkers. The entire time you will be so pissed off and resentful because he is not as quick as you want him to be, not as caring, not as hot as you are already. So this is the idea of mirroring his level of investment. It's very important.
The mirroring concept, yeah. So mirror the investment or let them be a little greater to leave rather than you overinvest and now I'm cranky because I'm not getting it back and now I'm insecure and I'm feeling insecure all the time, which is going to flip you from honey to vinegar, which is going to be a repellent energy and make things worse. So you just hit rotation, which again was something when she first said it years ago, I was like, oh, but Kat, I'll be a slut if I'm dating all these guys. Well, not sleeping with them, but if you're dating people and having openness to seeing different people and how they step up for you, you might not even be aware of like, oh, I thought I liked this guy over here, but actually the more I paid attention and got present, this one over here is actually making me happier, and it's not what I first expected. But I guess the rotation finally had my aha moment when it was like, it goes along with the investment, so, and the cup full. So if a woman over here has her cup full, and then anything she gets on top of that from any men in her life is cherries on top, so the cup is now overflowing. So that would be like, kind of thinking hard to explain it. So if you can get your cup full from the investments of a couple different men, and it doesn't mean you have to sleep with them. You can go on a date. You can have a phone call that's sweet. You can receive a gift from them, flowers. If you can get your cup full, even though you don't maybe have the full relationship with one person that's filling the cup, you're still full in your day. And you might, if you're not compromising your standards, like for me, I don't personally like to sleep with multiple people at the same time, but you can have interactions that fill your cup and make you feel like a valued, happy woman. And so then you're not so empty at the end of the day that you're looking to receive. That's when I realized the rotation is really key. And rotation for me, when it got really clear, was like, you don't have to be dating multiple men. For me, stepping back, leaning back, and taking a nice hot bath and making myself happy, and like so almost like my masculine side taking care of my feminine side and feeding some energy into myself, that counts for me as rotation. Or going on a trip like Cabo, girl trip, like fill your cup, ladies,
Right.
you know,
Fill your cup.
and then it's easy. Somebody else just gives you those cherries on top, and you don't have so many expectations that they, you know, move mountains and change the world for you in the first couple of months of dating.
Apart from having a real rotation with the man that you truly love, will be on a totally different level altogether if you just, for example, play tennis with your grandpa. Obviously, because when I was single, I was dating multiple guys, right? But I already had one that I really liked. So even like uh, doing camping and all that, I still thought about that man, about that person all the time. So it was hard. So yes, you still need a rotation of men that you like, especially if you haven't found anyone that you like. You have to date until you find two or three men that you equally like. Then you don't have to worry ever again about leaning forward, about wanting to secure something from from a man because you feel that he's too slow. So you're going to stop thinking that, oh, he needs help because he doesn't come forward with these ideas or that idea with the with dates. Because when you do that, a man will pull away from you. This is why it's so important to have at least two or three guys that you like equally, who will take turn to take you out, to go on a date with you. It's fine. I know a lot of women think that that is like so not me. It's cheating. Yeah, but you are nobody's girlfriend. You're nobody's girlfriend.
Until you're not, until you are.
Exactly. Why do you? Why do you feel? I'm sorry. Why do you feel?
Yeah.
Right. You're nobody's girlfriend. You're being presumptuous, thinking that you are cheating. And meanwhile, you have no idea what he's doing behind your back because he's so quiet most of the time. Like he's not like a boyfriend who calls you or texts you every day around the clock. This kind of man, the EUM, or basically the guys you casually date, right? They haven't claimed you because they haven't arrived yet emotionally. They're gonna take their time, and meanwhile, taking their time meaning they're gonna also look what is available out there. And meanwhile, you are sitting here waiting for his calls, and then acting like a wife, being loyal to a man who still sleeps, in the likelihood, still sleeping with other women. Why would you do that?
It's a low value behavior.
That's low value because you do it because you're being presumptuous, thinking, oh, I'm a very loyal woman. I'm gonna be just loyal to. Yeah, you'll be loyal to your husband. He's nowhere close to be your husband. Not even a boyfriend yet.
So your investment would then be way higher than his
Exactly. You
investment.
invest here emotionally when he's still here. And of course, you're going to try so hard to make him sort of like match your investment.
Mm-hmm.
And this is why a lot of these guys run away from you.
Mm-hmm. It made sense to me when I thought about
Right.
nature. So you might be like, oh, I can't do a rotation. That's just not me. This feels wrong. But like if you look at females in nature, the men will present in their
Exactly.
field, and she will choose the best performer, like the one that is has the best attributes and provides most value for her. She doesn't automatically just go with the first person who comes into her field. If you look at animals in nature, there's usually some type of
Yeah.
presentation where the male will show its effort for birds. They show crazy feathers, whatever it is. But just choosing the first person because you're desperate, it's actually not going along with nature. It's not actually that natural, as opposed to a female who leans back and looks at the options that she has. And the one that's performing, which that would mean he's investing highly, she will match his investment if she thinks it's valuable. So when you say, "Oh, rotation, this is so wrong," it's actually natural.
It's natural. Even
You don't have to
days,
sleep with the multiple people at the same time, but you can entertain the possibility of dating,
and you have
phone
to
calls. They
You
can buy
have
you
to.
flowers, whatever you want to
Right.
get in your life.
You have to. You want a husband. If the man that don't really court you, they're not gonna get my loyalty. As simple as that. Gonna invest in me first. This is why we have dowry in marriages, right? To show that a man is ready to invest in this long life relationship. That's a symbol of investment, correct? So you're already acting like a wife without him having even to call you every week.
Hmm.
What's the logic behind it?
Yeah, this is sort of, I guess, one last catchphrase before we move on would be the space and freedom. So Kat used the analogy of the butterfly. If you try to collapse your hand on a butterfly, it will just fly away. Versus if you're very calm and offer a good place for it to sit with warmth and compassion, then the butterfly might just come right in your hand. So how about this one, Kat, being sort of controlling or having expectations versus giving somebody space and freedom? Can you comment on why your philosophy talks so much about that men need space and freedom to be the guy that you want them to be?
Well, number one, you want the ideas of marrying you, giving you whatever it is you want, right? From the man himself. It's not that you have to sort of bend over backward trying to secure whatever it is that you want, or you have to twist his arm to marry you. Why do you want a situation like that? If I have to twist a man's arm to marry me, I'd rather be just single. So I'd rather be finding another man who will do it, out of his own free will, right? So, uh, so what is the question again?
It's just about understanding philosophically. It's not really a catchphrase 101, but we can say it the butterfly analogy. Why? Can you explain to people who don't get why would a man need freedom and space to be the man that you want him to be?
This is the analogy, not butterfly, but if you just open your palm, with crumbs, bread crumbs in it, and then you are saying in the Venice, in Venice area where there are a lot of birds, right? A lot of, I believe it's doves.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is it doves? Right,
doves,
doves, the white pigeons, right, the pigeons. They come by themselves to eat on the palm of your hands. You don't have to do anything. You just open your palms like this, with bread of crumbs. They come and flock onto your hands to eat from the palm of your hand. So this is an analogy with also masculine men. What you need to do is you come show up as a feminine woman, very receptive, very open, very sweet, very nice, right? And open, meaning you're not shutting yourself down. Sometimes we do that because we don't want to attract attention from the guys that we don't like, right? But the opposite to it is we overact when we are in front of the men that we like. We try to gain their attention and we start overacting, which also doesn't work. So what you need to do is just be relaxed, be joyful, be happy, smile, be quiet perhaps, you lean back. And the man who finds you attractive, trust me, they will look at you, they will give signs that they're attractive, they'll come to you. If they're not, that means you're not their cup of tea, which is fine too. Not everyone is every man's cup of tea, right? I'm not a cup of tea to men who love blonde women, for example, and I'm fine with that. So it's okay if some men, after you lean back, they don't, they, they're not showing any interest because they're not interested in you physically. That is perfectly normal too. So now you know straight from the get go that that man is not very attracted toward you.
And you
So,
don't want to
yeah.
twist an arm. That
You
would be
don't
the
want
type
to
of man you'd have to twist his
exactly.
arm, and
You
you'd
don't
be the
want
one
to twist
pulling
his
him down the
arm
path.
for him to wanna date you. It's not the kind of dating situation you would appreciate in the long run anyway.
Because that would be low value. If somebody
And
doesn't
also,
value you, why wouldn't you value
yeah,
yourself and say that person's not in an attacking way, but just like, hey, they're wrong. They didn't see like what's awesome about me.
it's a
And I'm gonna go
setup
find
for
somebody. I'm gonna wait for somebody
heartbreak.
who does see what's awesome about me. Oh, I'm gonna go chasing this person who doesn't. Probably not even by their fault. Maybe they're busy or they just
Right.
didn't happen to catch the awesomeness of you. But going chasing to try to prove, if you're trying to prove that you are high value, guess what? You're not.
Right,
You're
exactly.
sitting
When
there
you're
going,
saying all the time, I'm a seven multiple figure, you're not. I'm sorry.
yeah, people maybe make money, but they don't have the self-esteem.
Multiple seven figure, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, you touched on something that really makes a lot of sense to me too, because you said a guy comes in your field and you start overperforming. So I've had this happen to me when I was a lot younger. I'm in my feminine, I'm just having a good time with my friends, I'm kicking back, and then this guy comes into the room or whatever, and I decide that he's attractive or he's a catch or whatever. Ladies, who has not had this happen where you flip on a dime and you start sort of like performing for the viewer rather than just like beaming out the vibe of who you are and look, has to lean back, just keep being yourself. Don't worry about what people think about you. So like for me, I didn't get, sometimes you'll get someone who comes and you're in your feminine vibe and it seems like they're hot and heavy. But if you flip into the performing, needing validation, and it completely flips the polarity and then they go out of your field again. So she just touched on that and I thought that was an interesting follow-up to our talk about what, sometimes women say, hey, what happened? This guy was calling me, he was texting me, he was so hot and heavy. Boom, he flipped on a dime and now he's just like, it's almost like he was repelled. It's because you changed. You collapsed from being yourself and just beaming out this vibration of your awesomeness and lovingness, and you started focusing externally on this person, which is a masculine flip. You flipped into your masculine energy of wanting an outcome from the person as opposed to just like, hey, I'm going to be myself, and the people that value me and the people that like me, they're going to come closer, and I'd love to interact with them. But if people don't see my value, it could even have nothing to do with me. Maybe they had a bad day or they had a fight with their boss at work. I'm not going to go chasing this person for validation. Like, friendly, certainly, I'll be friendly to them. But I'm not going to overstep my investment and start going chasing some guy. Hey, why didn't you call me? Why didn't you see the value in me? It's like, just know your own value. And if it's not this person, somebody else will come. But stay in your feminine. Don't go flipping into chasing people into your masculine energy because it's repellent to somebody who's a masculine person.
By the way, I have to say something. At first, when we first trained, she was so nervous about talking in public. Now look at her. She's just like rolling downhill.
Well, I got the message.
She's unstoppable. She's unstoppable, and she's so articulate. This is the beginning of her podcast. I can only see this is what you need to do consistently, and you're doing well.
Good. I think it actually is what I just said, because when I got on the camera, I was being myself with Kat, I was being myself with my girlfriends. The things I learned seemed to help them if I passed it along, and it was enjoyable. But the minute that she said, oh, turn on the camera and do something on the internet, it's like the minute the hot guy comes in the room, you sort of freeze, and you're like, wait, what are they going to think of me? Does my hair look okay? By the way,
it looks really, really cute. I love it.
But it's the same thing as like if you say, oh, I want to be a coach. I have this beautiful, loving stuff in my life. I want to beam it out to people out there in the world. It's your feminine. But the minute you start flipping and worrying about what's on the other side of the camera or the guy's validation or whatnot, you flipped into your performance, which is a validating energy. So it took me a while this month. She said, go get on camera and just start to connect people. And I just like collapsed. I was like, no, it's like my nightmare. I have to. And I flipped into fear from being in a loving. And so she's helping me realize you don't have to be anything other than yourself. So I
Oh.
guess that's a really good lesson for our, when people that are just getting started in the coaching business, because I thought I had to be. You see these people that she's talking about, they have these web pages boasting about how many millions of dollars, and they have professional photographer shoots, and it's all organized. And I realized I learned from Kat this week is just like, don't hype yourself. You don't need to hype yourself. You just need to be yourself. And you have something of value if you can teach people just one thing that makes their day better, and you give value, as opposed to some of the coaches and trying to be perfect. They're trying to immediately get thousands of dollars from you on day one. It's a very needy taking vibration.
Sort of, yeah.
And I got it, and I got comfortable. I'm like, that's today. I just want, maybe we can help one or two people who are having a hard time this week in their relationship, and that's rewarding for me. It's not about like day one, how many thousands of dollars can we make on the internet today? There's so much pressure, and the minute I felt that pressure, it collapsed my good time. And Kat really helped me this week of just like, don't worry, just have a good time and try to help one person a day.
Yeah.
So if you're starting out coaching, don't get too hyped out that you hype yourself out.
Find something that is inherently rewarding to you. What is inherently rewarding? Meaning you will do it anyway, even if you don't make money out of it. That's what got me this far in this business. Because I made basically zero the first 2 years. I made no money whatsoever. But I did it anyway because I loved it, because I enjoyed it. It was a hobby to me. So it has to be a hobby in the beginning. Cannot be because, I want to be a millionaire. No. You won't go far enough to reach that point if it's not a hobby to begin with.
Yeah, like for me, waking up today and thinking that I had to do a hair and photo shoot for this web page pictures or my fancy Instagram, and I had to have this full production video, I would be so miserable right now. Like I would just be like stressed and panicked, and I wouldn't be having any fun. But waking up in Cabo, we had a lovely breakfast. We're having girl time, girl chat, and we're not putting too much effort into like what people are thinking or is this going to make money or not. It's enjoyable and it's rewarding, and that's part of like, who wouldn't choose a job that's fun?
Exactly.
Why would you want to just make money and be miserable?
This is what I'm saying, ladies. This is what mixing business with pleasure looks like. Doesn't feel like a chore. Doesn't feel like work. I would have quit long ago if it feels like a chore.
Like just getting up any day and somebody says to you, like, ladies, today you're going to get up and you're going to have a mimosa and a nice breakfast and you're going to sit with your girlfriends and you're going to chat about relationships. Like, we love that. It's the most fun day ever, as opposed to somebody saying, today you're going to wake up and you need to be perfect in hair and makeup and you need to make sure everything you say is perfect and you're going to be on camera and people are going to be judging you, and if you do a good job, then you get thousands of dollars. It flips you into the masculine performance from the enjoying feminine, and that was like the key learning I got this week in Cabo. So
Awesome.
I just wanted to pass that on to anybody who's starting as a coach. Is figure out what makes you happy, because that's the best you can do for anybody all around you.
Wow, awesome, Jacqui. By the way, how many people? About 20 people watching.
Really?
At
Great.
some point.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's
think
even more. It's even more than live show that I do. So it's a good thing. So I need to go to the bathroom. By the way, I'll be back.
I think we're good.
But you can mix also interviewing her. You also can interview her. You sit here. Let me go to the bathroom. So.
Okay. Would you like to be on camera?
Very conversation live.
Okay.
You want to interview me?
Sure, because you're getting started too. It doesn't have to be perfect.
What do you want to ask?
So Mei Ling is also doing the coaching program here in Cabo with Kat. And since we're talking, part of the interview today was talking about how Kat got started in the business. And maybe there's people that want to be a relationship coach online watching right now. Mei Ling's just starting out like me, just starting with getting articles and her website and knowing what kind of message she wants to have. So welcome, Mei Ling. Yes, thank you. So do you want to tell us what you're up to this month, and maybe if you learned a lesson or if you had a challenge that you overcame as far as starting out as a coach?
I think I started doing this training with Kat, I think a month ago, and I have got about 14 guinea pigs with me at the moment. I've been coaching them live with Kat. Already have 2 coaching sessions. So I still have another one, the remaining four guinea pigs that they couldn't make it because of timing issues. So when I'm back in London from Cabo, I'm going to arrange another call with the remaining four guinea pigs and with cat as well to coach them. What I'm up to?
Oh, 46 people watching you, ladies.
So
I'm so proud of you.
For this coaching certification, I think my core interest is really to really understand people's problems that I want to help them to heal. That's what I'm focusing on now at the moment. I think that's very important in this kind of business. It's not about marketing. It's not about having a nice website. It's not about that. It's about having the ability to have a good insight of the problem of the people, to help them to nail down their different issues. Because I think that is what I think is a priority for me in this coaching session. Really, without that, I don't think the business can go far and long. At the end of the day, people come to us. It's all about helping them to solve their problem, their misery.
Yeah, that's what I noticed.
I'm not interested with any public speaking or whatever. I'm just interested to connect with people to help them solve their different issues. That's all I want to do. The rest, marketing, that will come. If you can help people solve their problem, the words of mouth will spread through. I don't need all those internet marketing.
Yeah, it's overwhelming if you put the horse before the
because,
carriage.
because for me, if I can't solve my client's problem, my guinea pig's problem, I don't see the worth in me. I don't see the value in me. I don't see the meaning in me. Why I'm doing this? Because it means nothing to me.
Yeah, I can totally agree.
So if that's why I'm very focused on that. That's why I have got that 14 guinea pigs. I care for them. I care about their problems. I care about their issues. My priority is to get them fixed during this period of training. If that cannot be done, I don't think I can do better after that.
Yeah, so
Because it's important while Cat is supporting me. It's important to learn from Cat. Say for example, if there's a story from my client that I'm not quite sure how to tackle this, then Cat is there to advise me.
yeah, you're holding them with care.
So
presence.
that's very important for me because that's the key of the business. Everything else is not important. I don't care about other stuff. I care about solving the problem.
Your people.
That's what I want. Wow, that's the key for me really that I see
Yeah,
for longer term. Because if you can't solve the problem, nobody's going to come to you.
Yeah.
There's no point.
She's doing it from her heart. She just wants people to not
Yeah.
suffer. And for me in my life, there's been so much suffering I see between men and women, and it's a lot of it is just based on misunderstanding.
Yeah.
And like I noticed when I went to some of Kat's retreats, and Mei Ling's saying she's learning this, like people that are suffering, sometimes they just need a little present attention on the area. It's like they're in the dark. And if you just put a little conscious and you sit with them, like she calls her guinea pigs. She has 14?
Yeah.
She has 14 in her first month of coaching.
Yeah.
14 women that she's taken and said, hey, I care about these people and I want to stay with them in those dark places until they get some clarity and they stop
Yeah.
feeling afraid of the relationships that they're in. So I just
Yeah.
want to applaud. That's amazing.
Yeah.
To have your first, I feel a little inadequate, but that's okay.
Yeah, because
First month of coaching and 14, she calls guinea pigs, so 14 friends are trusting her
yeah.
with a little bit of clarity and a little bit of presence to make them just
Yeah.
feel safer about that they're worth it and they're going to end up in a great relationship someday. It's amazing.
Yeah, because if they can't get anywhere better, I don't think it's right for me to get into this business
Yeah,
because meaning that I do not have the ability to help more people because meaning that I haven't had that good insight and the knowledge to help people.
I think you do.
So
yeah.
if I
But you're not
can't
getting
get
ahead of
if
yourself.
I can't get that over, meaning I'm not ready yet to run this business. That's why this 14 guinea pigs means a lot to me during this period of time, and I'm trying my best to help them to get to a point where I can let go their hand. I don't have to walk with them, that they can manage their own issues later on, and I let go their hand.
That's amazing.
So I think if they can do that, meaning that they have passed me, and I'm ready to go out and start this coaching business. If they are not ready, meaning I'm not ready
Yeah.
to. So I don't think I can get into that if I haven't reached that stage. So they are important to me, and they are my priority.
It's actually
Those
very,
14 pigs.
very in the
So-
philosophy. She's saying in the moment, if I can provide high quality services and a high vibration to the people I've taken responsibility for, she's not in her head thinking about the future yet, like, oh, I'll be this $1 billion coach. She's just saying, I've taken responsibility for 14 people. It's sort of like being in a masculine and feminine relationship. And she's saying, I want the quality of my presence in my relationship with my 14 guinea pigs to be so high, and then I'll move forward with, oh, I can be a coach. So it's actually beautiful
Yeah.
to see that you're just being very feminine about your coaching and
Yeah.
about the quality of the experience, not about moving forward down the future toward
Yeah.
the outcomes.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I haven't really thought about writing posts, writing ebooks, or setting up web page, because that's not a priority at the moment.
Just being yourself
My
right now.
priority is that 14 guinea pigs, because at the end of the day, it's about helping people to heal. For the blogs, for the ebook, for the website, that will come when I have the time. I'll do it.
Yeah.
On the while I have the time, but because Kat is here, I need Kat to advise me what's the right approach, or what have I missed out in coaching them. You see, if Kat is not there, then after I'm gone, I completed this training. If there's anything missing in me, but Kat is not there, I don't think it's right for me to advise people who have got problems, because I'm not giving them the right direction, which is going to make their life much worse than before. That's not something that I wanted to do.
Yeah. You want to
So-
give more than you get back.
They have to be better than before they come to see me.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why my focus is really about solving people's problem, and everything else is secondary to me. I will do it, but secondary. But to produce a good blog, to produce a good ebook, I don't want to rush as well for the sake of making money and selling it out. It's okay, because I think to write a good ebook, it takes time, and it takes experience, and through coaching with other people, for people. So I'll take my time. When I think, I will know when I know I have reached that. I have an expectation in the quality of the ebook that I'm producing. I haven't started anything, but the time will come when I think I'm ready to write. I don't want to rush, because just because I'm having a business, I want to launch an ebook to sell. My focus is not on that yet. My focus is to coach and provide consultation to help people. At the end of the day, for me, at the end of the day, when people have got problems, they want to talk to you. Talking is the best way of communicating, and that's my priority. Everything else is secondary. So I'm very thankful. I've got 14 guinea pigs from Kat's group, and they have been very brave, and they want to improve their life. So we're working very well at the moment. So when I'm back, I will continue to vlog from Cabo. I'll continue to follow up with the rest of them and see how they are doing.
That's beautiful. You're
Okay.
already helping so many people. So
Okay.
what I'm hearing for her is she's got 14 people in her life, and she wants to raise them up.
Yeah.
Just put a lot of her heart and soul into them, and then that experience of high quality
Yeah.
would make an ebook, as opposed to getting stressed out about writing the ebook before. She wants to really engage in a high quality interaction with her 14.
Yeah.
Is it friends or family? Women that come to you?
I consider them as sisters.
Sisters, her sisters. It's
Yeah.
beautiful.
So I think without them, there's no me. because their stories actually helped me a lot in this coaching training, because it gave me a very broad insight of people coming from different places, different background, and it helps me to diversify my insight as well. So I think it's very important. There are some cases and stories that I came across. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to tackle that. I need to speak to Kat or what he thinks, and that's important for me before Kat let me go and start my business. Because I don't want to end up
And ladies, you can ask questions too.
not having enough to coach
A
people.
lot of the
I
ladies.
think it's wrong for me, and because I don't want to give them the wrong direction and make them worse than before.
Yeah, you sincerely care from the heart
Yeah.
about getting people the right information at the right time so they don't
Yeah.
suffer.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it really. And I enjoy my journey with Kat and with you as well. Jacqui. And we'll see where it leads to. For me, it doesn't matter because I'm taking a break from my main job. Um, I'm still doing consultancy. I came from a consultancy background in technology. I handled many clients in the past. And this is also a consultancy work for me. I see it as a consultancy work. But the focus on the problem is different. It's more on love and relationships. But in the past, my focus is more in the business, to solve the business problem. But now I'm solving love and relationship problem. I'm still giving consultancy. I won't call it coaching, I'm calling it consultancy. These clients will come to me, these guinea pigs will come to me for me so that I can consult them. So they are my clients, I'm still handling clients, but it's a different subject matter of expertise.
It's beautiful. So,
So,
she's so
so I'm still a consultant,
serious.
but I'm diversifying my experience, my skills in a different kind of business. Now it's about love and relationship. In the past, it's about business. I solved a lot of client businesses problems, from financial services to public sector to transportation to agriculture. I've dealt with many types of clients in the past, and dealing with a lot of complex problems and issues in the business by leveraging technology. But now it's all about the individual person, himself or herself, and it's zero into their mind and their heart. But in the past, it's zero into the business problem. So nothing has changed for me other than the subject has changed, and I'm diversifying my exposure, my skills, and my knowledge. So I don't see anything has changed in me.
No wonder why you're jumping in so quickly. So she,
Okay.
what I see is
I
she already
handle
had.
clients
Yeah.
all the
She
time.
already had the way to make
And my
technology.
clients are from very low level to the top executive
Wow, I didn't
level.
know that either.
And my last project, I was handling 2 projects, and they are multi-million, multi-million, and multi-billion worth of projects I've been handling with. So it's a completely different world than this world. This is much more subjective, and it's more about insight, individual, spiritually, in your mind and in your heart, which is completely different from the business. So I have that skills of handling client. I have that skills of complex, deep problem solving, which I can apply it into love and relationship. It's all fundamental. I just need some guidance from Cat experience. Once I get that fundamental, the key, I just need to know the key, then the rest will be fine. Everything is the same. It's just a different flavor of
Yeah.
problem.
Now I see. So she was having this big technology, these big companies, and she knows how to use the technology to give the outcome and the solutions to make their business run smoothly. And all she's doing now is that the clients are now in relationship, and it's almost like she's writing the computer code or helping them write their own computer code to get over the bugs in their relationship. So I think that's very intelligent. She's leveraging what she already knows and how she can already help people on day one, and just kind of reframing the box a little bit.
Yeah, so that's where I am. So I'm not worried about writing blogs. I'm not worried about writing ebooks for now. But I'm worried about my 14 guinea pigs. I shouldn't use the word worry.
Yeah, you're so involved. You're so
I
invested.
I care about my 14 guinea pigs because they are like my clients, like what I'm doing in my job.
You need to get the results.
Because my client, whatever it is, when I'm doing consultancy, my client is my priority. It's my priority to help them to solve their problems. So it's the same mentality that I have with my 14 guinea pigs. Nothing has changed other than the subject matter of problem and the issues has changed. But that is not the problem because I work on a very diversified areas of business problem. I can jump from transportation problem clients to finance, public sectors. So I work with many big banks, big telco companies, big transportation companies. They are all my clients, and they are all platinum and diamond clients, and they are all multi-million, multi-billion worth of projects. So nothing has changed. Everything is the same, other than it's different subject really. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it, and we'll see where it leads to. And I hope after I have completed this training with Kat, I can have more fundamental in love and relationship and take this even further and long.
Do you have a question for me? Either of you. While we are,
I don't. Is there anybody who's asking online? I'm not sure how to.
yeah, seems like
We're asking if anyone has a
By the way,
question that they want us to
it's
address.
such a blast. That like a blast meaning like I've never seen that many watchers when I'm live as they are now with you. At some point it was 58 people watching.
Wow, if anybody's
I
watching
didn't
right
expect
now,
that at all.
you
I
can
didn't
still
expect
come to
that at
Cabo.
all.
the invite is on the table. The cat will be here extended for till which date? Sorry.
On the 17th.
Okay, she is here in Cabo till the 17th. If anybody's just having a terrible breakup or could use some girl time and some advice, the offer's on the table. Get in touch with
if
her.
nobody's taking it, you can extend too. So just
Do you have any? How do I find questions? I don't.
So, do you have any more questions other than what you have written?
I
Or
think
maybe you can
that
ask
was
me
perfect.
questions too.
Yeah.
So, earlier questions when we were eating there, it was such a very interesting topic we were talking about. When we are not over our own painful relationships, like especially with the family, right? We have all traumas involving family members, family upbringing. So how can we help people? You say, right? When we are still not
Resolve
solving,
our
we
own
have
problem.
our own
Oh, that's a great
unresolved
question.
issues with our own family.
Can they hear you? Because you're on the other side.
So, yeah, I hope so. Can you hear me, ladies?
So Kat's asking right now, in case you didn't hear her, something that came up at breakfast for us today, which was we were talking about challenges we were having in our own lives, and the question came up, and Mei Ling said, "Oh, how do you coach when love is this endless journey and you're still always learning challenges? There's nobody out there, not even the best of coaches, who have learned everything that there is to learn about love." So Kat's bringing a great question, which is, if you want to be a coach, how do you reconcile the fact that you're not perfect yet? Yeah, you will always still have challenges. You might have issues. Your relationship will take turns and twists. So that's a great question. Who do you want to answer it?
So
You or
maybe
us?
you can give it a forward to first, maybe. What are these
Would you like to, or
what
would
do
you
you
like to keep
consider
it private for now?
unresolved issues for yourself? Well,
What I'm
are
saying-
you open enough to talk?
No, I think the key thing of being a coach, to coach people who has got their own problem and issues. I mean, each and every one of us, we will have our own problem from time to time. Yeah, and my question is, how can we actually, as a coach, to deal with our own problem, own issues, so that it doesn't spill into our clients when we are still in the mid of trying to resolve our own problems? What can we do to avoid that, so that our own problem doesn't get attached and we give the wrong advice to our client, because we are still, trying to resolve our own
What
problem.
have you been doing
What have
so
I
far with you and your unresolved traumas with the surrounding family interactions?
I ignore it.
Yeah.
I walk away. I walk away. I always walk away. I don't talk much. I walk away because I know the situation is that they won't get it. No matter what I say, they won't get it, and they will always find excuses, and they will twist. They won't admit it. So it's a waste of time. It's a waste of my time and energy, and I don't want to deal with it. The best thing for me is I walk away. That's all. And if they keep coming back, I will shoot at them and I'll walk away. That's what I do because it's not for me to fix them. I can never fix people.
That's exactly what I would do too. So
Don't be a
why
fixer.
is it still a problem to you?
Because it's still sitting inside me.
Yeah, so brewing inside
It's
of you.
still
That's the
sitting
difference,
inside
right?
me. Yeah, I walk away, but it's still sitting inside me. I cut it off. I don't want to talk about that with them. I cut it off, but I don't. But it's still sitting inside me because the reason it's still sitting inside me because I have been wrong when I was not wrong. When I'm not wrong, it's like I have been victimized.
You've been a victim.
I've been a victim. You see, so nobody understands. At the end of the day, it's all back to me. Everyone is pointing a finger back to me because I'm their shadow all this while. When you are someone's shadow, people don't like you when you are someone's shadow, and
Well,
you
you
become
are aware. The difference is you are
Yeah.
aware I have this lingering issue about not forgiving my family, and I'm fussing up to it. Meaning I'm totally aware of it and I'm owning it. That's the difference between those who are not aware of their
Yeah.
issues because they don't own it. But you
I'm
own
aware.
it.
Yeah,
You own
I
it.
know it.
I know it is going to be like this, no matter what
Yeah.
I cannot control people, I cannot change people. I'm just gonna, basically not be involved in their drama.
I walk away. That's why.
Exactly.
This is a good
That's
material
good-
because it's like
a good thing.
Yeah.
But my mom is
Even though right now still hurting,
is a thing.
it's still hurting. I totally get it. But so long you are at peace with that feeling of hurt, meaning you give yourself compassion.
Yeah.
it makes
That's
sense.
all it is. Basically,
That's what
owning
I'm doing.
to it is basically I know I'm hurting. I know that it is not totally resolved within me because I'm still bothered by it, but I'm embracing it. I'm not resisting it. It is what it is.
I know it is what it is. That's why I just shut it down. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm not responding at all.
exactly.
I
That's
just
Don't
leave
give
it.
energy to it. Don't give energy to it.
Beautiful question though, because Kat, you always say your vibe attracts your tribe, and if you're a relationship coach, what do you do when you have family members who aren't on the same wavelength or vibe, and you love them, but they're not sort of your tribe as far as they maybe they're not passionate about the same thing you are, or they're not learning the lessons that you feel that you've learned in your life, and you love them, but your vibe attracts your tribe. Maybe your tribe is other people outside your family or your closer friends, and you just have to be confident and know that your vibe will attract your tribe, even if it's not immediately your family members. Because people might say, oh, you still have challenged relationships in your family and you're supposed to be this relationship coach or whatnot, but not everybody has, that might not be your tribe. As far as, maybe someday they jump in and they say, I didn't see the value of what you were doing before. This is amazing material and it's helped me.
It takes years, 20 years.
Yeah, patience.
It takes years. So yeah. So I'm looking forward. We'll see where this coaching business will lead to. But my priority is with that 14 guinea pigs. I just want to get them sorted. They are okay to walk on their own. Then I'll let their hand go.
Awesome.
When they are okay, they are at that stage, meaning I have graduated from them as well.
So the 14 lady will sign up for your first program. I can only
Then you will be ready.
start
Yeah,
thinking about your first program.
I will see. We'll see, but I don't want to rush, Kat.
No,
I'm
I
taking
know,
my
I know.
time.
You take your time.
I'm taking my time, but because I know if I rush it, the quality of the work of the program is not gonna be
Yeah, I
right.
know. Yes.
It
That's
takes
good.
time.
Sort of like learning to drive. Like when I first came to Cat, I just wanted to know one driving move. Like, how do I make a left turn? And stuck on this thing in relationships, and I don't know what to do. And I just wanted to know like when people Google something on the internet, what to do when key X, Y, Z, or this happens in your relationship. And it was just me, like I wanted to learn how to make a left-hand turn. And then as I learned more information, it's like you're out there driving on your own and you can more or less drive the relationship car. You still get stuck sometimes, or maybe somebody comes and almost hits you and you have some drama still. It doesn't mean you're just always driving in this perfect day, but as I learned more of Kat's material, I was like, hey, I can drive these relationship cars on my own. So it's beautiful. Mei Ling is saying she's going to train up these women, maybe going from just like they're stuck on the left turn and they keep getting stuck in this one place in relationships and they don't know how to drive it. And she said, I'm going to get them to be able to drive on their own. And that's when I know I have become a relationship coach and I can move forward and offer more to more people. I think it's a really beautiful heart-centered service that she's embarking upon for people she cares about.
Yeah, because there's no point if I think at the end of the day, when the client comes to you to help them to solve the problem, if you can't solve their problem, there's no point to do this business.
It's in the results. Yeah.
That's the reason of this business is growing. If you can't solve the problem, there's no business.
Then it's just all hype and talk.
Yeah, it's just talk. There's no business. If you can't solve the problem, there's no business. If you can solve the problem, there is business. That's it.
Yeah. Or if you can teach them how to solve their own problem, which is the best.
So it's important. If you can't solve it, that's it.
Right.
There's no business. Forget about
what
it.
I hear you saying is, so some coaches say, oh, I want people to come running to me and I want them to pay me every time they have a problem. But what I hear her saying today is, I want to teach my clients how to solve their own problems. So like for me, if you're looking at coaches who to sign up for, if a coach keeps offering you,
Upgrade,
you do a little,
upgrade this,
they hype it
upgrade.
up and now you have to do this and you're still not good enough and pay me more money, versus if a coach is like, hey, I want as quickly as possible to get you on your own, and you don't even need me, and you could drive your own relationship car, and you become your own expert. I would go personally with a coach more who has the philosophy like Mei Ling, where they're saying, I want to get you problem solved as fast as possible, obviously with as much care and attention and time as you need, but I want to get you to the place where you feel safe to drive your own relationships. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. So I just want to tag if that 4 guinea pig is online, if they can hear it. I just want to say thank you, but it's important. Their stories are important to me. Without their stories, I'm nobody in this business, I have to say. Because it's important for me to get an insight of what's going on with them. Without that, I don't think I can get anywhere far.
Because nobody has the same issue. We're all such different creatures.
I need a very diversified set of stories and cases to learn on. Okay.
I think
without that, I cannot run the business smoothly.
Yeah, you can't claim to be an expert without.
Yeah, I need that because experience. I know in my job as a consultant, I dealt with in the past with many complex issues, and no one issue is the same. And the business is always changing. That's why the problem is changing as well. Same for this love and relationship. We as an individual evolve over time, and we are changing, better or worse. So from time to time, our problem, no one problem is the same all the time as an individual. Yeah. So it's very important to help my 14 guinea pigs or my future clients, to help them to understand the key of their problem so that they know what to do in the future. Yeah, they won't come back to me, but sometimes if they still need help, they can always come back.
You'll be as a resource.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So yeah. The problem will always be, not always be there, but nothing stays the same. Our life is constantly changing all the time.
Yeah.
That's why we will have problems from time to time, but they are all different.
It makes sense to me.
Different nature.
Yeah.
So I want them to understand and have that skills to deal with their problem, their life problem, that they can handle it themselves. Because when I look at these 14 guinea pigs, they sit in the class but they couldn't. Yeah, they understand, but on the surface level, but they couldn't get the deeper meaning of what has been taught. It's not what is wrong being taught. They do not have the skills to understand the deeper meaning of what has been taught.
Yeah,
That's why
why I didn't have it
they
first.
are they are relaxing. They are falling back.
It's
And
like
fall
learning.
back and
Yeah.
fall, back and fall. So I'm trying to find a way how can they not get into that mode, back and forth, back
Yeah.
and forth. Because I was like that before when I came to see cat. I sit in the class, I understand what cat says, but I'm a little bit different because I never study about myself. Everything that Kat taught me in the class, when Kat mentioned about it, I realized I am already like that in the past.
Yeah.
It's just that I didn't realize that until Kat told me, say, study yourself. Then only I started to rewind it back, what happened to me, every single episode of my life, what Kat taught me. I have actually already experienced that I was already like that.
Yeah.
That's because of that I can understand the deeper meaning of what Kat said to me because I have already
Yeah.
experienced it. But for the rest of the 14 guinea pigs that I have been coaching them, they have sat in the class. I realized they couldn't get the deeper meaning of it because they have not experienced
Yeah.
it deeply.
They haven't
They've gone
directly
through.
experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah,
to live
that's
it.
why. That's why they couldn't get it. That's why they still don't understand. Yeah, I have sit for the class, but they are still leaning forward. They still don't get it. So I'm at a different level because whether I'm lucky or not lucky, because I was just not conscious, not aware of it at that time. So I can grasp what Kat taught me very quickly and understand the deeper meaning of it.
Yeah.
It's just the way my life journey has been.
You start to see the philosophy underneath
Yeah,
of
I understand all
when
the-
you were in love and you had good results, and when you
Yeah.
had fear or you had
Yeah.
bad results, and you
I
start
was
to
like that.
get calibrated.
Yeah. So whatever that Kat said in the class, it resonates to me. Yeah, it's right. I have experienced that. I was also I behaved like that. What Kat taught me to do, taught all of us to do. I was already like that, but I was just not aware of it. Like
Me
not
neither. I had
conscious.
no idea.
Not conscious at all. Not until Kat shouted at me. Then I realized, oh, I was already like that. So that helps a lot from Kat.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's how I felt like today when I went over our Cat Fang 101. These are like the first move for driving relationships. So somebody that's a client might be stuck on just merging on the highway and they're so scared, and you can teach them just how to merge on the highway, maybe just one of these skill sets. Like if a person comes into class and they just learn to lean back and relax the anxiety a little bit so they become more pleasing to be around, it's almost like teaching that person to merge onto the highway, at which point they can have some confidence that they can actually drive this relationship car. So Mei Ling is saying some of my customers are just learning, they don't see the deeper way of driving the relationship through being a loving person and high self-value and providing good experiences and love to the people around them. But then once people get a few of these moves, they get confident and they start driving their own car. And that's why we went over Cat Fang 101 today. You start to say, oh, okay, I got leaning back. This feels better than being anxious and leaning forward. Now what? Oh, now I might pick up a rotation. Wow, this feels fun, actually. I'm like on the highway driving. I've got guys that are dating me, and I can choose which one I want to be in a relationship with. So I just think if you're in a dark place today and you're just learning one move and you say, I don't get this stuff, like she's saying, some of her people are saying, I don't get very much, I get a little from each class meeting with you, but just have confidence and keep being open to it, because you might be driving on that highway like in no time, and it feels really good to be able to operate from a place of love and provide, anybody you date or anybody who's in your life, you learn how to be a loving person.
Okay, back to Kat.
Yeah.
Kat is back.
What we got? What else
I'm
we got,
good.
Kat?
I'm good. Unless you have any more questions.
No, I think that was
We can
great.
close.
Thank you guys so much. We touched on, if you're thinking of becoming a coach, how Kat got started, and hopefully you guys have seen we're just getting started and putting together our mission and how we want to help people. And then hopefully we reviewed if anybody's stuck in a relationship challenge this week, reviewing Cat Fang 101 as far as lean back, what is feminine magnetism. So stay tuned as Mei Ling and I produce more content in the coming month. We'd love to have you guys in the future, and we're so glad you're here and that you're on this journey, and we hope you get more love in your lives as we go along. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.
We can end it.
Okay, let me find the ending. I don't see how.
Thank you.
Oh, end live video. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.
From Cabo.